time for honoring yourself will soon be at an end.
Hi everyone, it's me. It's Mike. I was just I am streaming for no good reason. Just that I haven't streamed regularly, and I thought I'd pop in for one of my Nite Cap streams. Sort of one of those AMA type of deals. If you have any questions or curiosities, or if you just want to talk about the topic du jour, I know some people are going to want to talk about cryptocurrency. Some people may want to talk about something. I don't know. What is the deal with the hackers, man? There's been some hacking going on. I just got an Instagram alert. Someone's trying to log into my son's account from Kiev or something. Where was it? Where did I put it? From Kiev, Ukraine. So I'm thinking that's not actually my son in the Ukraine. But yeah, and then I had to deal with some other stuff today too. I had to change some password stuff. The hackers, they just are really out there in force. Good evening, Arlene. I hope you're having a wonderful evening today. Back to my honey whiskey. Lots of ice. Nice and cold. Nice, cold, chill, sweet drink. Maybe a little too sweet. I don't know. It's a tasty little beverage, though. What else is going on? Is this not... It's once again, it's focusing on my microphone. It is morning. I mean, technically, it's 12:52 a.m. Why is he still up? I have no idea. We went to a great service tonight. Our church, it was not just our church. It was our junior high ministry and like 7 other churches, junior high ministries together. So it was this great big crowd. It was like there's so many kids there. It was like a church full of kids. It was like camp. And you know, we did lots of fun games, and actually I have some stuff I could play. Hold on a second. I recorded some stuff on my phone because it was like slow motion and just cool. Here, let me play it. Let me see. Where's the good one? Oh yeah, that's the good one. Hold on. Look at that slow motion. Kids smashing themselves together. Hold on, let me play it again. Yeah, it's not doing it. How do you do it? It's hard to do it backwards. Slow motion. So we had that. We had 9 Square. We had a bunch of other stuff. That was fun. But I'm not going to show you all these. But it was a great message. He sort of did something. Dadgummit. What the heck? Terrible focusing patterns. Well, at least it's blurry. It makes me look like I'm younger. Why isn't it focusing? If I'm going to turn on if I turn on a light, will that make it better? There we go. You know you want to do that. Well, I would have wanted to do it, but my back still hurts. My back has been hurting me for like a year. I'll be honest with you. There was a point in time about 6 months ago that it wasn't bothering me, but oh yeah, I don't know what to do about that. So the message was basically the prodigal son message, but he took it and he put it in a modern context, and he used this metaphor of like a guy that owned like a gas station, like a convenience store gas station, and He did a very good job of telling the story. And I was like, it reminded me because I was working on a story based on the same parable. Mine was called A Certain Man. It was totally different. Mine was like the father owned like a paper company and his sons, they were really wealthy, and then blah 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 blah. But anyways, I went and oh no, he went and he kind of did this version of it where it's this that this kid like takes off, steals the money from the safe, goes to his father lets him take it, um, and he goes to Vegas and he becomes spends his fortune on wild living, and it was really good. It was a good story, good relating it to a modern context, and it just reminded me of this was something that I had intended to do. I started writing it, but I never like wrote out a full screenplay, so I don't know how far along I got. I think it's on my old computer. It's been a while, but yeah. What's up, fuzzy creature? What's up, dog? Up, dog? How you guys doing? Look at that. It's just the four of us here chilling. Is this probably not a good time to stream? I don't know. I haven't even shared it out. If you guys want to share it, feel free. Let me view it on the tube so I can hit that share button. Mute, share. This is one of those streams I may just delete after the fact. You never know. Prodigal son is always a good message, says Arlene. Indeed. He made a point I'd never really thought of about. He's like, I'm not sure which one was the prodigal son, the one who stayed or the one who left. Because the one who stayed, he had his own issues too, right? Because he was like, well, he was rightfully pissed. But he was using the argument that he had this I'm doing all this stuff for you kind of a mentality. I've worked for you this whole time, and it's not about working for God, right? It's about the relationship, and that was pretty good. That was a pretty good message, and I think it reached some of the kids. Some of the kids weren't paying attention because they're middle schoolers. What are you gonna do? How's everybody doing? Tell me a funny story. What else was going on? Oh yeah, while I was there, I got a message from the old BitBoy crew. It looks like I may be, after I'm done with this other NFT project that I think I may have just finished tonight. I probably have to do some tweaks on it, but I may have finished it tonight. Mostly. They may want me to jump on another project, which is going to be like 16 to 20 pieces. Which is going to keep me from finishing BitBoy 2 right away, because it seems to be like something they really want to get done ASAP. So that'll be just one more thing for me to deal with. But I'm good. Hey, look, man. I'm happy to do work with these guys, for these guys. Oh, look, I got another page of colors in. I don't really want to share another thing, but from BitBoy. Can you see it? He's doing a really good job on the colors, so good stuff from my colorist. This is Rob Liefeld's colorist, or one of Rob's colorists. Dang it, I did it again. I messed up the focus. I somehow messed up the focus. Come on, focus. All right. Just remember, you aren't their cow. No. I'm their... No, just kidding. I didn't want to say it. Look, man. They can, if they're going to keep giving me work and they're going to keep paying me then perfectly happy to continue the projects. It's good stuff, and I do look. The great thing about capitalism, the free market, is that both people in the relationship are using each other, right? But to each's own benefit. So I'm using them in that I'm, obviously I'm getting paid very well. And also I really want to get into the NFT market, but I don't want to limp my way into it with like just what my fans from Indiegogo or YouTube. And I don't have like, I know this guy Code. Well, he goes by Boss Logic. He's got millions of subs on Instagram. So when he got into the NFT field, he made literally millions. Like every time he'd launch new projects, he'd make all this, just doing these NFTs. And I'm like, well, obviously I don't have millions of subs on any social media. Had you only known, you could have spent, all this time, years cultivating an audience, delivering them free daily content on Instagram or DeviantArt or whatever to build that free audience. I guess looking back, it is kind of common sense. But yeah, that was kind of the thing, like with the webcomic people, is like they had these huge audiences, but they never knew how to monetize them. And now we're existing in a world where you have crowdfunding, you have Patreon, you have now NFTs, you have all these different ways to crowdfund. So if you were one of those people that stuck it out for like the last 10, 15 years building these audiences on these other platforms, and then suddenly you've got 2-3 million people following you, and you're like, I mean, I look at Sakimi-chan on DeviantArt. She just built this giant following because she kept producing this. It's kind of cheesecakey, but it's really good cheesecakey artwork. And then Patreon came out, and she's like, hey, would some of you like to follow me on Patreon? And bam, she was making like $65,000 a month in patrons just from taking her DeviantArt fan base and saying, you can now support me financially, and I'll give you exclusive content. Patreon. Right? You get some of these guys doing the same thing with crowdfunding. Right? You get some of these guys doing the same thing with NFTs. I would like to get into the NFTs. So it's a long way around, because BitBoy Crypto had his entire audience. Well, not his entire audience, but a huge portion of his audience is interested in NFTs. They're all interested in cryptocurrency, which obviously, man after my own heart. But yeah, that's what I'd like to get into. That's why I'm using them in the sense that if I was taking a similar job from somebody else, it wouldn't make me as interested as doing it with BitBoy, because of the audience that I hope to share with him once we really get rooted in the NFT market and the card market and all this kind of stuff that we're doing. So I think some of that would be hold on a second. Don't let them overwork you or keep you from other projects. That's all. Well, I'll work as much as I feel like it. The longer Shad waits, the longer it'll be until the second Shad book comes out. Well, as I do believe I mentioned a few days ago, we did have a meeting with the printer, and so I think we got most things ironed out. And I was telling Shad's assistant, like, let's get this hammered out and launch within the next couple of weeks. And he loved the idea, so hopefully that's possible, because I think he got all the printer questions answered. Although that did lead to some New and interesting options. The printer wants the printer loves it's Doug's printer. So Doug's leather bound. I don't have the leather bound, but it's gilded and leather bound and foil stamped and all this stuff. They want to do that. So it'll be an interesting option. An interesting option. No, I'm not talking about the Meg 2. Lack of imagination. Hey, commission for X dollars. That makes a difference. I think some of that would be lack of imagination. Hey, commissions for X dollars. That makes a difference. I don't know. I don't understand what that means. Lone Star NFT. I'd love to get to the point where Lone Star had an NFT market. Right? Ideally. It'd be fantastic. Who would think that people who control the money would try and control you with it one day? Yeah, it's sarcasm, General Grudge. Does that mean you're going to Tennessee? I don't have any plans on it, but I wouldn't mind. I've been to Tennessee before. Beautiful country. Beautiful. I've been to, let's see, I went up to Memphis for a meeting with, who is his name? What is his name? Oh, it was Tyndale Bible. When we were, we were doing Christian books and stuff at Alias. So we had a meeting with, was it Tyndale? I think it was Tyndale. Or was it Nelson? I don't know. Whoever did that Johnny Cash thing, that's where I got that Johnny Cash reads the New Testament DVD set or CD set. And then I went out there for a Wizard World. Had a great time. Hung out with Ray Park that weekend. That's he had a meeting with the 501st, or he had a dinner with the 501st. And so because we were already friends, he invited me and Oli to the 501st dinner so that we could. Actually, I think Gary Shipman came with us too. Was Gary there with us? I feel like he was. Huh. But anyways, so he put me and Oli on either side of him. He's to kind of like keep the 501st people at bay. Sometimes fandoms can be a bit much. But yeah, we went out that night and we hung out with Ray and what's his name? Winston from Ghostbusters. That guy's handsy. I mean, like, we may not know everything about Ray. No, is it Ray from Ghost? Was that his name, Ray in Ghostbusters? The black dude. I can't remember. Anyways, lack of imagination was on the part of the webcomics premium options. I don't know, dude. I mean, I dealt with so many webcomics people back then because I was a comic I was the comic book liaison for Ray Parker Jr. Yeah, Ray Parker Jr. Yeah. Oh wait, is that right? Ray Parker Jr. Is that his name? Ray. Oh, look it up. That sounds right. No, he's a singer. No, I'm talking about Ray Parks. But the black dude he played Winston. Ernie Hudson. Not in Ernier. Yeah, Ernie. Ray Parker Jr. was the Ghostbusters song. That's weird, right? So you got Ray Parker Jr., I'm hanging out with Ray Park, and I'm hanging out with a Ghostbuster. Crossing the streams. Ernie Hudson. Ernie. Yeah. I got a picture with him somewhere. I'm not going to dig it up right now, but What's up, Edwin? Edwin, would you like to pop in? Sure. Sure, Nite Cap. Might be getting Nite Cap time for you over there. Oh. Doodly doo 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 doo. Copy to clipboard. Let me see. I don't know if you're available, Edwin, but I'll just drop it in the. I'll drop it in the D&Q, anyways. Oh, by the way, bye for the 11 of you who are here. Auctions tomorrow night. Auctions tomorrow night, much earlier than this, mind you, much earlier. I know Mike. My cringe typos when I tried to type too fast. Shame me some more. What's up, Calliope? All right. Links in the Twitter. D&Q. So what was I? How did I even get from here to there? I don't know where my logic train is going tonight. It was just kind of all over the place. How did I get to the? Oh, Tennessee printer. Shadow of the Conqueror. Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to get Shadow of the Conqueror launched in the next couple of weeks. Pray for that to happen. Bitcoin market is going down to 27K this time. I sincerely doubt it. Let me see how the daily looks. Let's see. Well, it did break through that little chart. I was making it here. I'll share my screen. We'll do some charting. You guys want to do some charting? These are regular, not Heikanishi candles. I had this little wedge shape forming here. You can see it, but it is breaking down beneath the wedge. So I may have to readjust this. Although that's no, if you go to the bottom of the oh no, this is Ethereum. Sorry. BTC USD. Let's see how we're doing. This is the daily chart. So we got that red X there, which is like, get out. We've got one manipulation point. That doesn't seem realistic. Let's see where we're at. All right. Yeah, here's the tricky part. You see this green dot here? This green dot usually always signifies upward moment, like we're going to take off. Because look at this. Bam. Last time we got it was here. Last time we got it was here. Here. Always going up, going up. Got it here. We went up. Got it here. Didn't go up on that one. Went up here. I went up for a second here. Went up a little bit here. But on this one, we got the green dot. And then I mean, I guess technically you could say we went up for a day. We went up for a day after this green dot, and then blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to pan out. Let's see. We have found a bottom down here. What were we at? 29. We've been kind of bouncing this channel. I said we were probably going to bounce around between 30 and 40. And I mean, yeah, that's where we've been bouncing. You get up days and down days, and we're staying in this channel. So here's how can I chart this? Right 30. That's right about 30, right? 31. And right on the top of here, looks like we're there. What's that? 40, 39, 7, almost 40. So we're just staying in. And I said this back here. I was like, yeah, we're probably going to stay around between 30 and 40 for a while. And it's been like, what's that, 3 weeks? I'll be honest with you. It's getting a little tiring watching it stay in this channel for 3 weeks. But how do you feel, Edwin? You are also a holder of the bit.
Diamond hands.
Diamond hands. Actually, I'm not a holder of the bit. All my stuff is in alts now. I will be going back into Bitcoin towards the end of this cycle, but Blue Moon. I love Blue Moon. You need a nice squeeze of orange in there.
A little squeeze of orange.
Mm-hmm. Wheat beer and orange slices. Oh,
I think this
manna
is only,
from heaven.
I think this is only my second 6-pack of the year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just don't drink that often, but yeah, I enjoy it when I do.
It's a tasty beverage. Just don't drink that IPA garbage. Oh, makes me throw up.
So what's a good word? Did you get any work done today?
I did. I can't show it because it's NDA NFT, but I've been doing a series of NFTs for a high-profile person via the BitBoy guys. So hopefully those will do well, and if they do, then hopefully it'll open up some other channels. And like I said, I'm trying to build up an NFT audience. So if I can do that by piggybacking onto some other guys, all the better. All the better. All right. So just so you guys can see, let me draw this. This is a daily chart. So if you can see how it's like, hold on, where's
is there a volume chart that we can see?
I don't know if I have it on here. So you can see this basically like curving down like here, right?
Yeah.
Well, what you also, dadgummit. How do you undo?
Is it not Control
I'll
Z?
just reset the chart. No. All right. So you see these bottom green lines, or these bottom green dots too, right? They went up, they went down, and now they're coming back up. When they come back up, this is a sign that the momentum is shifting from selling pressure back up to buying pressure. So, there's only so much selling pressure, even in a manipulated market. So hopefully, I don't know, if this creates a, I forget how exactly you do this. If you go like here to, if you go here to here, that might be another freaking 3 or 4 weeks of just sideways action before we get any real pumpage.
So I would be really interested in seeing a volume chart or a volume table. JP Third says NFT ?
Non-fungible tokens volume, net volume, price trend volume, cumulative volume index.
And so JP, NFT non-fungible tokens can take many forms. One of the most recent forms they are taking is unique digitally signed art.
Yep.
And so at first glance you might say, wait a minute, but that's a JPEG or a PNG, but it's a uniquely signed, so it's an individual item, a unique item.
Oops. I don't see that showing up. Yeah, I don't know where built-in public. I don't know what the indicator is, or how net volume maybe.
Maybe net volume.
No, that didn't do it. Here, I'll just open up all of these. Oh, there's one. Yeah. All right, let me close this one. There's your volume right there.
All right. So when there's relatively large downward pressure, you've got a high volume signal. So the biggest, that must be the sell-off, the red.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the volume, is there a way to average the volume, or is that what that bottom chart is? Or the
Average.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking to see, I'm looking to see what a peak means, but I can kind of extrapolate it from the chart I'm looking at. Yeah.
Yeah, Vic, NFTs are digital only. But they're secured on the blockchain, so they become a unique item. It's that's what the blockchain allows you to do, is to create unique digital items.
Yeah. So a distinct, individual, verifiable digital item, which is going to be an interesting concept.
Yeah. So I don't know that everybody wants to look at the charts all night.
No, that's little charts probably go a long way.
Little charting. Little. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just waiting. On the one hand, I'm getting paid in Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want it to stay low until I get the bulk of my payment.
Mm.
And then I want it to go up. But the thing is, so I can't get full payment until my colorist turns in, because I'm just paying my colorist out of what I'm making. And so because I can't
check the hair, young sir. Check the hair. Make sure it's good.
Looking good.
You got to give the eyebrows a little zip. For the
Dee Dee's just getting up. Stars and garters. It's only 1:22 a.m. here.
Dee's a go-getter. She's a go-getter.
Yeah, I've only been streaming for half an hour, so it's not still streaming.
Dee, are you doing show prep, or why are you up so early this morning?
She's on Twitter searching it for all the outrage clicks. So funny. So did you follow what I was saying the other night about Risey?
What was going on with Risey now?
About how he was the one that gave all that audio recording to Crypto Comics to give to us.
Oh, was he? Interesting.
Yeah, because Crypto was like, "I'm not going to tell you who gave it to me."
Oh,
and
yeah.
then Risey was talking about it, and I'm like, "Risey, did you give that stuff to Crypto?" He's like, "Yeah."
Talking about the recording someone had made from the Discord server.
Yeah.
Where people are talking about all kinds of
gay ops.
Yeah,
the word is gay ops.
I've dumped so much of that from my brain. What is it? What is it about comic books that attracts so many marginal personalities? What is it?
Well,
was it like,
I mean, be realistic, dude. In the day we grew up in, before comic books were, I mean, even to this day, comic books have still never been like accepted as the norm, right? Comic books were the I mean, you might as well have been a Yoda ear wearing.
Really? Yeah. Okay, see, my experience was just so different. All right, so I grew up in the rural South. At the time, the entire county probably had maybe 35,000 people in the entire county. It had one teeny little movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
No comic book shops. There may be one now. There wasn't one when I left for the Army. But when I was buying the bulk of my comic books, we got them from spinner racks or from at the Piggly Wiggly or at the 7-Eleven.
True Value Hardware Store.
And so everybody owned at least a few comic books. But now the idea of like preserving comic books for eternity and treating them as some sort of fragile item, a collectible item, that wasn't part of my comic collecting. And not even now.
No, comic collecting, dude, it was nerds. I mean, I started collecting in San Jose in 3rd grade, and everybody went in the comic shop, and everybody that I hung out with that read comics, I'm a nerd, I guess. Sorry. It's just went with the thing. It was the nerdier class. You didn't catch, the swells and the jocks.
But see, everybody had comic books. There was no, in a small town where everybody maybe owned a dozen, all the boys anyway, owned at least a dozen comic books. No stigma to it. Everybody had some baseball cards, some comics. Everybody had a baseball bat. You'd read your comics, but nobody would fuss over them.
Small town North Carolina, and San Jose, California.
Thomas DeVries asked, Edwin, which town did you grow up in? I grew up in a little town called Clayton, North Carolina. And then we built a house out in the country in Johnston County. So I went from a town of about 5,500 people to living in the country. But all very rural. I grew up going to head shops. Yeah. But it's changed considerably since.
Been through a head shop or two myself. Ain't gonna deny. Hey, we're doing auctions tomorrow night, Edwin.
Oh, cool. I will try and stop by. What time are you going to?
I have it scheduled for 6:30.
6:30 PST?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pacific Standard Time. Yes.
Yeah, but Thomas, I have been away from North Carolina for so long, my accent has softened quite a bit.
All right. Sorry. It's texting Elliot.
So do you think comic book collectors got weirder and it became a kind of a different kind of fandom when comic books moved out of public venues and into what are functionally porn stores, seedy little stores in weird locations?
Well, it was already past that venue. I mean, they were there when I started collecting. They were still, and at 7-Elevens and True Value and all that stuff. But and yeah, you might get the casual reader picking up that stuff. But yeah, with the advent of the comic book stores, I really do think it pushed it more towards. And I love all of my friends I grew up with, and they were hella nerds, but they were, socially outcast, right? They had their own. I mean, it was their own clique, but it was a clique that didn't really. There's a reason they made that Revenge of the Nerds movie. Right, and they're socially awkward, more intellectual than that. It's pretty sad that you outcast the people who are your intellectual superiors, or maybe they outcast themselves because they didn't want to deal with the peons that couldn't understand Tolkien properly or whatever. But this social situation didn't lend to them becoming highly sociable, charismatic individuals. And I don't know, when you carry that into adulthood, you end up in Comicsgate, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think what the portion that bothered me was seeing the repurposing these nostalgic characters and storylines for to advance or to nominally advance some of these left-wing ideas. And I still, at the time, I don't think I had proper scaling for it, because like with the Marvel movies and all the superhero movies, it makes it look so large, and so you initially think it might be considerably important. But comic books are such a niche hobby now, I think.
I mean, we can get into that old argument.
Yeah. I mean, still, I'm glad I engaged in some stuff for just a sense of fairness and articulating stuff. But God, did Twitter slap fights change anything? I mean, they can certainly negatively impact your life to some degree, but how much positive stuff is actually done on Twitter? And maybe that's too much of a question for a nightcap.
This is a nightcap stream, Edwin. Keep it light.
Keep it light. Keep it light and bubbly.
No, I would credit this is just going back to that because like I said, these quote unquote social outcast guys, those were my people, right? I would probably credit my not just ending up a social outcast myself. Probably. Well, I'm very much and what's it called? Not exhibitionist. What's the word? I'm outgoing.
Yeah. Well, your father wasn't socially awkward yet. Little bit.
A little bit. my dad was a computer nerd.
Okay.
But my brother was not. My brother was a phenomenal skater. And so I ended up not just being part of the nerd group, but sort of transferred into like the skate punk scene, especially after my parents divorced. And then it sort of ended up more towards the punk scene. But then the main body of the guys that I ended up hanging out with were kind of like metalheads. Mm-hmm. Metallica was like mother's milk. And so it became a more eclectic group of people. I mean, like it was so funny because my friend used to call me a social butterfly in high school because I was friends with so many different cliques that I was like, I'd spend 10 minutes here, I'd spend 10 minutes there, right? Like I'd be all over the quad, like hanging out with all these people, and it's like all the rest of the cliques just kind of stuck with themselves, but I was just like in and out, just hanging out a little bit here, there, and it's like. So, but I would probably credit my brother and hanging out with him, even though he is more introverted than I am. And so it was funny because he would end up hanging out with my friends because I would be the one going out and getting friends, making friends, and then they'd come over to my house and then they'd become friends with my brother. So my brother didn't even hang out with the people in his grade. He hung out with all my friends from my grade. So it's but my brother is cooler than I am. And so I think my brother's cool. I kind of fed off of that to keep me off of the Mike, you're just going to be a nerd path. So whatever. It was a very interesting childhood.
Well, being an artist is interesting, particularly being like a comic book artist. Yeah. Because you spend so much of your time almost in isolation. I know you were saying before when you were drawing before, you would either have, you'd get on like conference calls with people or call one of your buddies.
Get that Plantronics headset on and just scroll through the Rolodex.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's the thing. I've never been I've always been very social in that I like talking. I mean, that's why it's like I'll get bored and I'll just want to jump on here because it's like I'm talking to somebody, right? I'm talking to the chat, or I'm talking to you, or I'm talking to Elliot or whatever, because it's social interaction. I like and I crave social interaction. But at the same time, yeah, it is this weird conundrum. I also want to sit here at my desk and draw.
And draw. Yeah.
Can I
So
manage both of those at the same time?
that's why I like my job. A portion of my job, because I'm reviewing contracts, writing plans, and researching laws and different things, or technical data. Part of it, I can just tune out the world for a little bit, but about half my day, I'm speaking to people. Right, I'm taking care of clients and coordinating things, and so there's a large social aspect to it too. And yet, you have to do some of that because, particularly in Hawaii, people give business to people they like. So you have to build those. You have to build those relationships, and
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then,
good news! My niece just opened escrow on a house on the Big Island.
Big Island, right? Colonized, I think you said.
Something like that.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah, right.
Kona is beautiful. Parts of it are like desert, but there's some beautiful beaches over there, some beautiful water.
Yeah. I've never been to the Big Island, so I can't wait to go visit them. After all the stupid mask and vaccine mandates are done with.
So when are you guys going to get the heck out of San Diego?
I don't know, man. I get texts or calls like every day for people wanting to buy my house.
Yeah. And if you go to someplace reasonable, I don't know how many years you've got left on your mortgage, but if you go to someplace reasonable, you could probably pay off your mortgage and buy another house somewhere else and be done. You wouldn't be in San Diego, but
That's the problem, Edwin. I wouldn't be in San Diego.
But you also wouldn't be in San Diego, which means
Look, I mean, there's one grocery store I got kicked out of for not wearing a mask. Just one.
with just the prices on stuff. The prices. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure you guys are seeing it. That how is the grocery
Where
prices?
else am I going to get the produce you can get in California, though? We grow everything here.
Well, like what can you get? Give me an example of something you.
Well,
think
I've lived in Texas and I've lived in Portland,
right?
and the grocery prices are redonkulous compared to San Diego. I mean, just the fresh produce.
It's
prices.
higher.
Yeah.
Interesting. Probably
got to be
what?
trucked from here to there.
mostly what? Olives, avocados.
Well, avocados mostly come from Mexico.
Right.
Although we grow up freaking crap ton of them in San Diego County. So I don't know where those all go. You know, Reagan. Well, maybe I shouldn't say what, but yeah, there's you can just drive up through North County and there's just hills with avocado trees. But I think most of it comes from South America at this point. They call it green gold since it's become the world's most popular freaking health vegetable or fruit. Or
that makes sense. Avocado is good for you. It's good for your heart. If you're a man, it's good for your testosterone.
Well, you know what avocado means, don't you?
What's it mean? Is it something balls or something? A testicular reference?
Avocado means testicle, yeah.
Erodimus Flash says, Mike needs cold, bitter winters and hellishly humid summers. In Freedom, West Virginia, it is.
I've got a great church here. Great people. I'm a leader in the junior high ministry. These kids need me. I'll suffer through living here for those kids.
At least your family probably doesn't spend a lot of money on gas, yeah? Because what is your commute? Like 15 feet?
Yeah. About yeah. Yeah. So we're good. We're good on the gas.
Yeah, I think when I gassed up, I think it was $4.50 a gallon here.
Really?
Yeah.
Usually, wow, you're actually higher than we are right now, I think.
Well, no,
That's
for
we're about
premium.
there.
That's for premium. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's for premium.
Yeah.
Yeah, premium here is closer to $5.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember what language avocado comes from. I think it's like Mayan or Aztec or something.
It
But
sounds like it should be Texaquitl or something. I can see some South American indigenous warrior with a painted headdress.
origin and meaning is from Spanish avocado lawyer, Latin source advocate, from earlier aguacate from Nahuatl Aztecan. Yeah, Aztec.
Aztec. All right.
Avocado with a secondary meaning testicle.
Mm. So, yeah.
Yeah. I watched this documentary, dude. It's like a lot of the gangs down in South America have just like moved from drugs to avocados.
Oh, more profitable.
Yeah, it's like because of the health craze here in America. Everybody wants their avocados, and so they became so valuable down there, and they're so easy to grow. They've been stealing farms from farmers and stuff, and just bullying people out of the market so that they can take over.
The avocado cartels.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, you could look at avocados as ant testicles. They're sort of like mountain oysters, but different.
Don't touch my avocados. They're sensitive. Dee Dee loves etymology.
Did you see that there's going to be a Lord of the Rings anime?
No, I did not.
Yeah, they're working on it now. Japanese director, they're doing the voice casting now. So I'm guessing it's probably 2 years out, maybe a year and a half out. But you remember the writers of Rohan?
The Riders of Rohan, yeah.
Yeah, the Rohirrim. It's going to be sent. It's going to be sent about 300 years before the events of the Book of the Hobbit, and it's going to focus on this one. It's called The War of the Rohirrim. It's going to focus on this one kind of famous king of Rohan. A film called Helm Hammerhand, and he's called Hammerhand because he could kill a man in one strike of his bare hand.
His theme song is Can't Touch This.
Yeah. But yeah, and so it'll be like Lord of the Rings in winter with these horse Vikings, the riders of Rohan. If you remember that's all Aryans pretty much. Those are the whitest of the blondest of the Nordic kind of Nordic people.
So actually they're not casting as an anime. Yeah, the Japanese will probably get it right. They ain't woke yet.
Yeah, but I imagine it'll be gorgeous as anime. I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Junkyard said I'd kill for American gas prices. It's like $1.75 a liter here, about $6.60 per gallon.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's some of that metric scam. That's where you went wrong in the first place, buying it by the liter. You should have stuck with them imperial units.
Yeah. Next book, Avocado Eunuchs. You know, my neighbor, he just got back, but he has this avocado tree. It's like 20 feet tall in the backyard, and it produces these avocados that are like this big. But I went over the other day to see, because usually they come in May. Dude, that thing's bare. Like nothing came in this year. So bizarre.
Interesting. Avocados can have some down years, but if the soil's depleted too, he may need to fertilize some for. Did he have flowers? If you don't have flowers, you're not going to have fruit.
I didn't say it was the first time I went over there, but usually he says they're ripe in May, and it's May. I'm like, there's nothing on your tree.
Yeah, yeah, you can tell. Anything that fruits. So just in case you've never grown anything, I don't mean you, Mike, but I mean the audience. Anything that fruits.
You saying I'm short? Is that a short joke?
No,
I'm very
no,
sensitive about the short jokes, you know.
I'm just I think you know how plants work, but some of the city folk might not. So whether it's a tomato plant, whether it's cucumbers, anything that fruits, it's the flowers that turn into fruit. So if the tree or the plant doesn't have fruit, you're not getting fruit. And don't pick the tomato flower.
Not it. That's not in all cases. The fig is the flower.
That it's actually a different process. A fig is actually an extrusion of the flesh almost. It's yeah, it's a little bit different thing.
What? Explain.
It doesn't like I say, it doesn't set a flower, and so it's
Right. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
The fig is
So
the
it's
flower.
technically not a fruit. A fig is technically not a fruit.
Oh. What would you call it?
It's a good question. Let's pull it up. We'll go to Wikipedia. Fig.
I mean, because it has the little opening that bees and wasps and flies will go into.
Well, it does make flowers. Let's see. Okay, etymology. The fig fruit. No, it does come from a flower. You sure? The
Yeah.
fig fruit develops as a hollow, fleshy structure called the syconium that is lined internally with numerous unisexual flowers.
So the fig is the flower. I
Yeah.
was right. Thank you, Edwin.
The small
for
fig
proving me
flowers
correct.
later.
Yet again, you can stop reading at this point because I've already been proven right. So we don't need to know any more information that might contradict what I already said.
Yeah, but it's an interesting plant. It's an interesting plant.
Yeah, the pineapple is a flower too, right?
It may be. It may be. I'm trying to remember. Usually, like here, we propagate pineapples from old pineapple tops. So you cut the top off in it. Yeah. Tomato is a fruit.
It's the devil's fruit.
It's the devil's fruit.
That's right. Did you know that tomato seeds are actually almost poisonous?
Are they?
Yeah, it's like the rest of
What's
the flesh of the tomato is good for you, but the seeds themselves can cause a lot of gastrointestinal problems.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I know. Usually, when I cook something with tomatoes, yeah, I de-seed them all because it makes it bitter anyway. Yeah,
Yeah, because it's the devil's fruit.
it's the
The
devil's.
devil's very bitter. Dates are fruit from a type of palm tree. I love dates.
Dates
Yeah,
are
we have a
good.
lot of date palms here in San Diego, but the dates that come off of them like have no flesh on them.
Mm.
It's like really, it's like what's the point?
Apparently, you can make like a form of coffee from roasted and ground date seeds. I kind of want to try that. It sounded kind of neat. We bought date sugar before, like a sugar made from dates.
I don't know why but that reminds me of I watched a video one time of harvesting cacao. Like cacao grows wild, and so you have to go out like into the jungle, and it's like these I don't know, like native cacao guys. It's all very, very like labor intensive work to get like all the chocolate we have in the world is apparently harvested from these like I guess millions of I don't know how many cacao harvesting people are, but I can't remember, but I think they said that you can't like cultivate you can't cultivate cacao trees like in an unnatural sort of a setting, and you can't use like machines to harvest it and stuff like that.
I think most of the cacao trees they have to grow in the shade or alongside other forest. So
That
you
follows
almost
what I
need like
remember seeing in
a
the
mix.
video. Yeah.
So there are quite a few people that are growing cacao on the Big Island. And when I lived on the Big Island, I used to go to the farmer's market and I'd get a cacao pod and clean it out and roast it and make cocoa and stuff just from. But most of the chocolate you get, they let the pods ferment some, before goes through its process, and then that helps break down the pith and stuff. It's it's some labor cleaning all that stuff
Yeah.
and refining. Yeah.
Practically slave labor is my point.
Yes. Yes. That lovely chocolate that makes you so happy is probably made with the tears of some Central American farmer. Some probably like a 5'2"
Probably making
guy.
like 50 cents a day so you can have your chocolate.
Yeah. Him and his burro trekking up the mountain. Right. He's probably barefoot. He's got his machete and he's got his cacao bags and his burro or his donkey. Making 50 cents a day so you can
You know who we need to tell about this? Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is.
How dare you?
How dare you? You had to think about the poor farmers in South America. Going out day after day, working the knuckles to the bone to get the cacao for your chocolate. Stop eating the chocolate.
My childhood. How dare you?
I saw that video that they made, and it's like all this stuff about not eating meat. And I downloaded the video because I was going to do an edit where you had her talking about all that stuff, and then I was going to edit in those old Carl's Jr. commercials where the hot chicks are eating the hamburgers. And then I started watching the Carl's Jr. commercials. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this.
Was Greta a little bit on the autism spectrum? Yes.
No, I think she's a fine actress.
Her face has a look of that, a little bit of that.
No, I just think she's ugly.
Yeah, no, maybe fetal alcohol syndrome. Maybe
that's entirely possible.
There's something going on in the face though.
I have convinced my parents not to eat meat anymore because we're destroying the planet.
She's 18 now.
Is she?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's time for her to get an OnlyFans account, and there you go.
Fuzzy Creature says they've mentioned the spectrum, they've mentioned fetal alcohol, but more likely she's Swedish. You know, I've got a little Swedish in me too, so I take offense to that.
Like
Benjamin,
the chef from the Muppets? Is that the
pork. Benjamin Button says chocolate seeds take 5 years to grow. 50 cents a day is too much. 28 cents for 6 days is actually rate they get paid these days. It was 18 cents. Are you being serious, or is this you pulling my lariat? I mean, let's face it. There's plenty of countries in this world where you can live on much less than $1 a day.
I think, I think Comicsgate should go to Central America and say, "Hey, did you hear? Kathleen Kennedy's ruining Star Wars."
You know what? I'm gonna make a shirt that says "Nostalgia is a hell of a drug."
My family has lived in this village for 500 years, senor. The narcos and the communists, and we just want a quiet life.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. There's a reason why the narcos, the cartels, don't take over the cacao industry. It's too much work.
It's too much work.
Avocados grow on trees. It's a very easy crop. Cacao, you the cacao industry actually probably makes a lot more money than the avocado industry, but they're like, no.
But do you think these farmers truly appreciate that Loki has just destroyed the MCU? Do you think they have an appreciation of that?
Why? Why?
I stopped at 7-Eleven yesterday morning to get some coffee, and there was a homeless person there. It looked like they were high on meth, and she was like, "Have you got $2?" I'm like, "Did you know that SJWs are killing comic books?" Ah! Quick.
Wait.
Super
Benjamin's being
chats.
serious. Benjamin says this is serious. I worked with groups to get some people out of those slave camps because employers forced them to live and eat in the forest factories.
Yes.
Also, that you can buy some dirt cheap Valentine's Day chocolate. It's crazy, right? I mean, nobody even cares about this stuff. They just want their 99-cent chocolate. Like,
most of humanity's story is serfdom. And essentially, a euphemism for slavery. But the cool thing is, here in America, we can complain about police from the comfort of our air-conditioned homes behind gated communities as we go to Whole Food and eat organic quinoa tacos or whatever we do these days. Mike, SJWs are killing comic books.
Yep, Joe, absolutely. Comics are nothing compared to the human condition. It's it's I don't know, man. It's sometimes you think there's so much. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of how spoiled we are in America.
It's part of it.
Right?
Which
because really, good. I mean, look, you want to live a life worth living, go be a missionary in one of these other countries, right?
Yeah.
We have 2 continents. We have 3, 4 continents. How many continents do we have? Or you've got entire places where you can go and actually, help save lives and make a difference to people, bring intellect and understanding and technology to places that that don't even have clean water.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get all. I'm almost at the end of my drink here, so I'm.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna get a little melancholy.
We want to keep it light and sparkling.
We're keeping it light and sparkly tonight. But it does, man. Like even our church does as a missions group that goes to even Cuba. But dude, really, Cuba even is probably more advanced than I'd say 50 to 60% of this planet. Right? And they're stuck in the 60s. But, we send people there because of they compared to how lucky we are here, they're in desperate need there. But compared to like 50, 60% of the planet, like Cuba is like paradise. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I should probably end the stream. I'm just gonna make everyone want to like kill themselves. It's like,
and even though I'm gently kind of poking fun at some stuff, people are doing the best they can, and they're trying to understand the world around them. They're trying to understand the world around them. They're trying to figure out why things aren't the way they expected it to be, and trying to make sense of the world. And we each have our own individual perspectives, and yeah. No, it's good though. What's good is to do something every day that makes you physically uncomfortable, like suffer some physical hardship. Either go hungry
Yeah, I like
for a
to
little
just
bit.
jab a screwdriver into my arm and twist it a little bit.
Well, no, not anything weird. Just do something like physically hard.
Hey, there you go, Mr. Dead in his pocket. Don't worry, Trump will be back. I absolutely agree with you. In fact, I had an argument. Well, not an argument, a disagreement with a couple of the pastors at my church today when I was at church because I was telling them point blank, it's like Trump's getting back in, and then he was telling me about crypto because he had just bought some cryptocurrencies. Yeah, because you're usually right about stuff. He's like, you weren't right about Trump. I'm like, yes, I am. This is God's timing. Just wait. Because I still have that conviction. And so you can feel free to call me crazy if you don't have that same conviction. That's fine. But I was like, man, you're watching what's happening in Arizona. You're watching what's happening in all these other states that are about to do the same recount that Arizona's doing. And when they discover what was plainly obvious to the rest of us, back in December, do you really think we're going to let that stand? I mean, what is your opinion when it's patently obvious, whatever,
Patently
however you
obvious,
pronounce
I
it,
think. Yeah.
that these states did go for our guy. I have to be careful how I phrase this on YouTube. Do you think you're just going to sit there and let that stand? And they're like, yeah, they're going to let it stand. And I'm like, and then I reminded one of them, I was like, because he's like, what do we do with all these prophets that said this was going to happen? Should we, remove them from their office? And I'm like, whose job is that to remove? But then I reminded one of them, I was like, Kim Clement, and he died years before this happened. All of this happened. Kim Clement, one of Kim Clement's prophecies was that there would be 2 presidents, which is like, I saw your eyebrow go up, Edwin.
Well, yeah, because you said prophecy instead of apostasy when we know that prophecy is closed.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, the Bible says in the end days, your young men will dream dreams, your old men will prophesy.
In the end times. But
where are we, Edwin?
Yeah, not
Friggin'
one job.
smells. If it smells like a
Yeah, I just I think in a very specific sequence it will come back, but you will see the temple restored and you will see some other things. I am very distrustworthy of anyone who claims to be
that's scriptural that the prophecy or that the temple will return. You have to have the temple before the abomination of desolations.
Let's see. Geek Hero Boa said, on the same token, you can't discredit that the politics and agendas are being fed into comics and other entertainment. Of course. But it's already too late. I can remember when the initial normalization was done with like Murphy Brown, Ellen DeGeneres. And so a lot of that's changed. As far as comic books being an extensive lever for that, not so much. Most of the people who are buying comic books now have been buying comic books for forever.
Yeah.
It's just not, if you're worried about those things, rather than sitting for 6 hours in a live stream with people performatively kvetching about it, go sit for 3 hours in a school board meeting, because that is public education and education in universities where the indoctrination is substantially occurring. And so if you're actually passionate about these things, get off the internet and in your municipality, go to a school board meeting. It may be at the county government level. And then if there's a university system that takes any kind of public input, or you can contact your state representative and say, hey, these kind of curriculums, this critical justice curriculum should be deprecated here. It should be mediated with opposing viewpoints and so forth, if you care about these things. The other stuff is just silliness and to have fun. Everett Todd says, who says the age of prophecy? Well, it's too late. We can next time I can join you for cross examinations. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I did one this week. I've been so busy. I've gotten so out of the habit after everything with my mom. I got out of the habit, and I was just hard to get back on that horse.
But you've been getting so much work done, though, right? It's kind of, you see the trade-off. So an interesting thing, because I've been trying to talk people into using social media more responsibly. There's some research done that showed persistent and raised cortisol in people, particularly men, who used social media under Facebook. And so you're getting social media, particularly if you're arguing with people, having aggressive responses, feels good, but you're kind of aging yourself and damaging your brain. And that can lead to depression and anxiety later in life. So that Twitter fight...
Well, I've been doing this since like 1995, so I must be brain damaged.
Yeah, and you can see it. Yes. Yes.
Dee Dee says this was a nice way to start the morning. Coffee, cacao, and avocado time. Later, guys. Good night, Dee Dee.
Aloha, Dee Dee.
I mean, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good
lady.
morning.
Yeah. I should probably wrap it up. Everybody, please do show up tomorrow night for Saturday night auctions, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's see. I don't know if Elliot responded about being there or being square, but
I will attempt to be both.
He'll be in later.
There,
He'll be in a little later.
Square.
All right. God bless us, everyone, and have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Aloha.